Hey guys, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach, coming to you live from the Greatness Factory in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We believe we manufacture greatness. We believe we can take a person in the body, in the mind, in the heart, and in the spirit and take them through a unique process to coach them up. And you know, one of the biggest things I see today from coaching lots of people is a person that has spent a decade or more doing something and becoming very successful, only to find themselves at a point where they're trying to leverage up. They're trying to figure out how to go from this step to the next step, how to take and leverage their past into their bigger future, and it's incredibly complex. So today we're going to talk about decade builders, how to dig into your past, how to leverage up. And I'm going to show you 3 decades of my life, from 20 to 30, from 30 to 40, and hopefully from 40 to 50, on how I'm going to leverage the past into this bridge for a much bigger future. We're talking leverage. We're talking how to use your past. We're talking what is next. What's next for you? And we're doing it right now on Super Coach.
Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach. Now, from the Greatness Factory Studios, this is Super Coach.
Hey guys, welcome back, Super Coach. I'm Coach Michael Burt. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. I believe a good coach can change your life. And let me tell you where you really need a coach. All the folks that are out there watching us on Facebook, you can download this podcast every single week. Stitcher Radio, Podcast Republic, Google Play, Podcast Republic. Did I already say that? You can download it everywhere. You can watch this on iTunes. You can watch it on YouTube. Shout out to all the people that are out there. Todd Tyndall, Carrie Ann. Look forward to seeing you tonight at your event. Tony Woodall, Matt Tilton, Lily Munoz, Reese Walker, Ivan, David Stegg, Mark Woods, Dean Smithia, Keith Mosley. What's up, Daniel Hodges, Jamie Stillman, Katie Martin. Today we're talking about leverage, guys. And this just hit me really over the last year and a half as I've been coaching people, is I think people reach a level of success in their life and they become static. They become complacent. They become bored. It's like I have sucked everything I can out of this experience. It happened to me at 31 years old when I retired from athletic coaching. Okay, I think at the 10-year mark is when you have a breakthrough. Unfortunately, I also think it's when you get bored. Jack, I think right at the moment you're about to have a huge breakthrough, you're also fighting off stagnation, boredom, fatigue. And so I want you, for the purpose of this show, to think in terms of decades. I want you to think not in terms of years, not in terms of months, but I want you to think in terms of decades, okay? And let me give you an example. And I've drawn this up for you. For a lot of people, I show them. Basically, I spent from 20 to 30 years old learning really how to do one big thing. And that was engineer people to win. That was a deep, intense study, a period of my life where I was studying Dr. Stephen Covey. I was practicing on my players. I was building a championship culture. But what I really learned from 20 to 30 was how to engineer a person to win in the body, in the mind, in the heart, and the spirit. That was the big thing I learned from 20 to 30. I want you to think about your season. 20 to 30. What's the big thing you learned? From that big thing, I began writing books on this. Because I wrote books, I began speaking. Because I began speaking, people asked me to coach. And so I'm taking this one skill, though, this one unique skill of engineering individuals and teams, and I'm taking it out to the market. And that's really what I learned from 20 to 30. Now, I leveraged that one skill into books, and speaking engagements, coaching assignments, and then I leveraged it into my first little company called Maximum Success. And Maximum Success was my first coaching company. Now I'm 30 years old. I'm leveraging this one hard skill, And I'm leveraging it into my second decade of my profession, which is building a coaching company. And as I'm going out there speaking, coaching, training, leading, I uncover what I really need to do is have a monthly, consistent, recurring revenue. And I started out with the program called XQ, Execution Quotient, that eventually became Monster Producer. Okay? So I spent the second decade of my professional career learning how to build a coaching business, which became Monster Producer. Now, I'm looking back on these decades, and I'm going, what's the one thing I learned? Well, from 20 to 30, I learned this one skill. From 30 to 40, I learned how to build a big coaching program. From 40 to 50, I'm leveraging Monster Producer into how to build greatness factories, how to fund greatness factories, how to build little cities of greatness, how to go out and get investors, how to form joint partnerships, how to take the best people out of all of these people we're coaching and form much higher and bigger relationships. It's transition into greatness factories. So today I really want you thinking, I want to challenge you in this show, is I want you thinking, what's the one skill that you learned from 20 to 30? How are you leveraging that into a bigger play? It's almost like, Jack, when I first started, I bought little single-family residential homes during the recession. And I bought those homes because my business was giving me excess cash. And then I woke up one day and said, man, it's not big enough for me. The returns are not big enough. Now I'm selling those and leveraging those and those experiences into bigger deals, bigger plays, bigger returns, bigger opportunities. And so for you, if you're going to leverage what it is you got into a bigger play, you first got to know what it is you got. So I hope you're taking notes while you're doing the show and you're literally writing out, Brian Truman, this is the hard skill I learned. This skill would be valuable to these group of people. This network I'm building would be valuable to this group of people. I'm leveraging. I'm looking back and I'm going, okay, how do I leverage that first year? First year I learned this, leverage it into this. Second 10 years I learned this, I'm leveraging it into this. Third decade, I learned how to do this, and I'm leveraging it into this. So what we're talking about is what's next for you, which is a transition between here's where I'm at today. There's some bigger play up here that I'm trying to get to, but I can't quite figure out how to navigate. When I come back in the second segment, I'm going to talk about that because we have a new level of coaching called What's Next, the What's Next level. It's for people producing at very high levels, but they're trying to leverage and transition, and they can't quite get their mind on how to get over there because they're making a lot of money right here, man. And they're stuck. They're stuck with golden handcuffs, baby. Lots of money, but tired, bored, stuck. They know there's a bigger future. They just can't figure out how to get over there, so they just stay in that area. Let me give you some kryptonite to get you out of here. Kryptonite's this. You're bored, you're complacent, but you won't take action to leverage up. So what you do, you sit around and dream about it, sit around and talk about it, sit around and think about it, sit around and talk to your buddies about it on vacation, but guess what you ain't do? You ain't got the gonads to go do something about it. Listen, it ain't going to happen. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. It ain't happening until you start taking specific, intentional actions. Until I said we're building a greatness factory. We're putting stakes in the ground and we're building it, which forced me to come along behind it with some force and some energy. And man, it scares me every single day. Don't think it don't scares me. But here's what I did though, and I'm trying to encourage you and inspire you to do. You got to take action, man. The next thing I'm going to do is bring a greatness factory for kids. And I'm going to put a stake in the ground and say, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. I'm not talking about this for another decade. We're going to do it. And when we do it, the force is coming along behind it. So today we're talking leverage, playing up, and what's next in your life. I'm Coach Michael Burt. Come on back in the next round of Super Coach. Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt. I'm on the Mercedes Sprinter. See this seat right here? This seat could be yours. Part of the new deal I'm offering, you get 1 day on the Mercedes Sprinter with me talking about your life and your business. You get one 10X GrowthCon ticket in Las Vegas with me, 36 other speakers, Tim Grover, Grant Cardone, Brad Lee, Lewis Howes. That's at the Mandalay Bay. That's a 3 or 4 day conference. Incredible. February 22nd through the 25th. That's a $7,500 ticket, by the way. You get 1 day at the Greatness Factory talking about person of interest. How do you blow up your brand? How do you get a couple 100,000 views on your YouTube, couple million views? How do you get Facebook people? How do you build podcasts? How do you write blogs? How do you write books? Person of interest. You get all of that for $2,500. That's the offer I got on the table. And you're going to get your money's worth sitting right there, $2,500. Email info@coachburt.com and reserve your seat. I probably only have about 20 more tickets left because I only got 50. I got 20 seats for this right here, okay? So take advantage, guys. I would love to be sitting beside you, driving down the road on a Mercedes Sprinter, coaching you. Welcome back, Super Coach. Every week I come into your life. To multiply life, money, business. What I'm trying to do, guys, is make you think. How long do you sit on the fence? How long do you sit there? How long do you allow yourself to stagnate? How long do you know you're not leveraging the best and highest use of your time? How long do you stay put, right? That's what this show is about. It's about how do you pick up this baggage, this good baggage you got, and carry it. I can't tell you how many coaches are out there listening to the show that want to get out of coaching, that are stuck or stagnant or bored, and they go, what else would I do, man? What else could I do? Well, you could leverage it. You could leverage it into a great sales position. You could leverage it into a culture building. You could leverage it into all kinds of things. You see, this is what you got to do is you got to leverage up. You got to think bigger. You got to leverage what you had and bring it to it. So 20 to 30, I learned one skill. Skill was how to enter engineer people to win. The question is, how do I leverage it to make more money? Well, I could speak and make more money in an hour than I could in a month of coaching. That's the kind of leverage I'm talking about. Now I got this unique skill set that I learned from 30 to 40, right? I got this unique skill set I learned from 30 to 40, and I'm trying to leverage up into what I'm going to do. So here's what I figured out. Decade 1, learn the skill. What's the skill you learn in Decade 1? Decade 2, learn the next skill. How to build this. Decade 3, how do I take the top deal here and leverage it in something bigger? So when you say leverage, think of money. How do you build excess cash from your business and pile it up and stack it up and then leverage it into something bigger? How do you get a 12% return, 13, 20, 40% return versus just doing the same thing over and over and over, right? So there's something in your life, and I'm speaking directly to you. You know it, so I want you to think of it. It's over here. It's what you talk about. It's what you dream about. It's what you sleep on. When you're with your buddies, you talk, here's one day I'd like to do this. One day I'd like to own a business that does this. One day I'd like to be an owner of a company versus a technician. One day I would like to do this. One day I would like to do that. Listen, something's got to happen for you to get from here to there. So what I've designed now is this coaching level for a person who's there. They're successful. They're making money, but they know this is not the ultimate play for them. Right? Like if I was getting a coach right now, I may hire a coach that does nothing but help me franchise greatness factories. Build greatness factories, franchise greatness factories. I may build a coach on teach me how to license content out there to the world. I may teach me on how to build an audience of 10 million people. But leverage, what's my next move and how do I push what I've got into that? And here's the problem. It's incredibly complex because you're going down a road and it's successful. And you're moving down a path and you're successful. But you see another path where you can be more successful, but what it is, it's incredibly complex. You can't figure out how to connect the dots. So it's probably going to take another person to help extract. I'm doing this with a very successful real estate owner. And he's going down a path of success, but there's a much bigger legacy play over here for him. And so what we're doing is we're drawing it up, we're extracting it. What's our next action? And what I'm helping him do is go from here and get crystal clarity. And sometimes it's through this extraction process, asking questions. I remember getting these coaches several years ago in New York City, and what they really did is extract this content for me. So there's a bigger play for you. Can we both agree that there's a bigger play for you? Problem is you don't know how to do it. You need another person to help you figure it out. Typically, it's somebody who's already done it or somebody that can see a structure that you can't see. But it is all about the concept and principle of leveraging the past to build a bigger future. Possibly it's going back to help people that you've already been successful to. It's going back to people who wrote you the biggest check. It's taking a concept and pushing it out. Like I was talking about licensing today. Taking a concept and licensing it. Like taking my Greatness Factory for Kids, right? It's a book, it's a download, it's an online platform, and licensing it to Rutherford County school systems, 58,000 kids. Even at $5 a person for those kids to go through that platform, it's $290,000. That's leveraging. How is it leveraging? It's going back into my 20s when I was engineering kids to win. It's packaging up what I did, and it's turning around and selling it to the same group of people on down the road. That's leveraging into a bigger future, all right? Let me go to one more break, guys. Let me give you some kryptonite, and then I got one more segment for you. You just don't know what to do or what your next move should be, which is where everybody is, man. You got to find the person to help take complexity and make it clear. You got to have conversation. You know, a lot of people. Anita Hill was on the bus with me last week. Katie Martin's been on the bus with me. Diane Michael said she wanted to be on the bus with me here in a few weeks. You know what happens during those days, guys? Clarity. We're having discussion. You know what happens in Seaside? Clarity. Clarity of thought. Clarity of next move. Clarity of decision. Right, Daniel Hodges? What should I do next? How do I push this thing to the next level? How do I break through my ceiling? How do I leverage my past? And that's what a lot of people just don't have. I got one more segment for you and transition from where you are to where you want to go.
This event couldn't go on without the sponsors that we have to help us out. One of the sponsors, my longtime friend and personal coach, who's helped us get to limits that we never dreamed we could get to, Coach Michael Burt, thank you so much. Singer-songwriter, national music artist. Is everybody ready? Randy Houser.
Are y'all with me tonight? Let's hear it one time. All right.
I am the super driver of the super coach. That is what I am.
Boom! Ain't nobody I promote better than this girl right here.
Black Pontiac with a pocket of cash, foot on the gas, ready to go on up, looks like a pickle.
Business to business CFO.
But ain't about to slow us down. Right, come on. She said I need a little something with some get up and go, and nobody knows how to get me going quite like you do when you do the thing.
It's unbelievable. It's my wife. We had a great customer appreciation event. Over 500 people tonight. We exchanged energy with the market. So God bless you. Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt. Welcome on back, Super Coach. Having so much fun with you today. Coming to the Greatness Factory. When are you going to come visit me, man? Today I'm teaching the Michael Burt School of Speaking, Coaching, and Training that is included for all our monster producers. Going on that bird next Monday. Jack's going with me. Derek Godwin's going with me. Who else would like to go with me? I think I got 2 seats left on the private jet to go with me to 3 cities. I'm going Knoxville, Orlando, Edenton, North Carolina. 2 days, 3 cities, private 7-passenger Beechcraft jet. I know I don't own my own jet yet, but first step, Jack, just getting on one. Just riding on one. Just traveling like that. You know, so first we're going to ride on one, then we're going to go out and make enough money to have one, and then, hey, everybody can go with me, right? But if you're interested in going with me next week, email me, info@coachburt.com. I don't know if I got any Seaside tickets left. I do know I do have 10 tickets left to the 10X GrowthCon. That's all I got left, 10 tickets. If you're interested in going to Vegas, some of the biggest names in the world, me, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Damon John, Ed Milet, Lewis Howes, Brad Lee. Guys, come on out there and get around the action. Let's go out there and have some great time together. Today we're talking leverage. Listen, it's about leveraging experiences. And one thing Jack brought up on the break is it took me 12 books to write an Amazon bestseller. But so I was leveraging my learning of every book. That was a success, but it wasn't a bestseller. And so every time I learned a little bit more how to release a book. And then finally, we got the bestseller and we leverage it into higher speaking fees. We leverage it into getting on Good Day New York. We leverage it into bigger plays. So what I do each week is I create content, guys, and I leverage that content. I leverage it into podcasts. I leverage it into shows. I leverage it into all of these things to create content to push people out to hopefully build affinity with you so we can drive more people in the door. I leverage this stuff into other stuff. Like I leverage thoughts into constructs, into books, into podcasts, into links. That's leverage. But the period I'm in right now is I'm trying to leverage wealth. I'm trying to really build some serious wealth. And really, I think, and I'm leveraging relationships, is I'm getting to the point of a certain type of person I love to work with. I'm leveraging these mass numbers of people we're coaching into the best people. And with the best people, I'm forming joint partnerships, joint ventures. I'm forming other companies. I'm doing all these things. I'm raising capital. I'm building greatness factories. Now, I'm telling you this because I didn't really see this. For years, I'm just a grinder, guys. I mean, when I say I'm just a grinder, I just went out there and put my head down and worked my process and systems. And it just occurred to me one day, 20 to 30 was about this. 30 to 40 is about this. 40 to 50 is about this. We're moving from the morning of our life to the afternoon. We're leveraging all of this stuff into something bigger. But you may be out there and you may be saying, look, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. There's a tremendous amount of complexity. What steps should I make? I don't have clarity about what my next move is. There is something that's bigger out there for you. You just ain't figured it out yet. And maybe, just maybe, you need another person to help extract it. So that's why I created this What's Next level. I created that level for the person who's successful. They're making a lot of money. They know there's a bigger play, but they don't know how to get there. And it's just a higher cut. We've got Monster, we got Mega Monster, and then we got the What's Next. It's a 25K level. But 25K broken down monthly is $2,083 a month. But what's it worth for you to get tremendous clarity about your future? What is that worth to you? So my challenge to you today is this. You know that it's in you. You just can't figure out how to get it out of you. You've been sitting on the fence. Like I said, you talk about it, you pray about it, you dream about it. Maybe it's time for some action, man. Maybe it's time to say, I am going to build a fund and raise capital. Maybe I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to do this. But the first thing you got to do is you got to get clarity of what your next move is. What is next? Every single week I come into you live, guys. Let me give some Kryptonite Jack, and then we're going to get them out of here. Man, I love coaching these folks. I love coaching and working with you. You won't get any help from anybody, so here's what you do. You can't transition out of the current level to the next level. You don't know what's next. You just know you got a burning desire inside of you to get there until you know what it is. Until you start taking action towards something. Until you start the movement and force and put a stake in the ground. It ain't going to happen, man. So I tell people, you and I can have this talk now, we can have it 10 years from now. But you know what we'll be doing 10 years from now? We'll be grieving our lost potential from all that kinetic energy that was stored that was never utilized. We can have this talk now, or we could have it 10 years from now. But 10 years from now, we won't be in any better shape than we are today. It's time to leverage all the past into your bigger future. Guys, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. And I appreciate you so much. You let me be yours. Guys, I'm riding down the road on this Mercedes Sprinter headed from place to place. And I remember when I bought this off a gentleman in Fort Payne, Alabama. And he had this Mercedes Sprinter customized to look just like his private jet. So that's why you see the wood and the hardwood floors and the different things around. And people always ask me, man, are you flying? And I say, no, I'm on my Mercedes Sprinter, but I am gonna be flying. And I'm opening up 3 spots on that. It just hit me this past week is that I have 3 speaking engagements, one in Knoxville, Tennessee to a group of top real estate agents at the Realtor Association, one that night in Orlando, Florida, and then one the next morning on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And we just could not fly commercial and pull that off. You know, we couldn't speak that far apart. No commercial flight could do it. So what we've done is we've rented a beautiful 7-passenger private jet. Many years ago, I had this same problem. And just remember, there's always a solution to the problem, right? And I had to speak in Miami, Florida at lunch and Jackson, Mississippi at dinner, and no commercial flight could do it. So we rented a private jet and we flew back and forth, and we allowed 5 people to go with us on that trip. We had a real estate agent, a dentist, financial advisor, and a recruiter, executive recruiter. And man, was it a magical day, because that's an uncommon day. It's not get up and go to work as normal. It's get on a private jet. It's fly around the country. It's exchange energy and ideas with people around you. And so we are opening up that day. I've got 4 team members going with me, and I've got 3 spots for people who are interested in going with me on that 2-day trip. Talk about your business, talk about your life, talk about your future, and let's do it from 30,000 feet. So we call this 10,000 feet in climbing, because when you get altitude, you see at a different level, right? You look down on life and you go, man, I'm thinking so small. That's what you're thinking. So I want to challenge you, if you've ever wanted to get on this Sprinter with me, if you wanted to ride down the road, if you want to sit in this seat, here's an even bigger opportunity to fly with me and my team. And we're going to leave early that morning. We're going to fly to Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to fly to Knoxville. We're going to deliver the goods. I'm speaking 4 times that day. Then we're going to get on that airplane and fly to Orlando, Florida. We're going to stay overnight. We're going to get up and fly to the Outer Banks of North Carolina on Tuesday morning, and then we're going to fly back to Nashville. What a 2-day experience. That'll change your whole think. So if you're interested in taking advantage of this deal, playing at a different level, thinking at a higher altitude, then all you got to do is email info@coachbird.com. I got 3 spots for 3 people who are serious about performing at a much higher level. We're calling it 10,000 feet and climbing. Here's your chance to spend 2 days with a super coach at a very high altitude.